us to come and be able to talk with y'all. We wanted to kind of make it real casual. I always remember in high school when we got brought in to hear somebody talk and they had like a PowerPoint and stuff. I completely remember that and never listened to a word any of them said. And so I know where y'all are coming from. I want to keep this real casual, real informal. It's kind of want it to be a conversation. And so just to kind of start us off, I just want to, are you going to talk about, just kind of talk about where we came from and all that kind of stuff?
So pardon my voice, I've been sick, so I promise I don't always sound like a man. So just to kind of tell you guys just a little bit of a background of us, just so you all can kind of feel like you guys know us. So we both grew up in Calallen, went to the junior high, went to high school here. I am a year older than Dustin, so he obviously likes older women. We actually didn't start dating until my senior year. I signed a letter to play volleyball, I guess in November, and we didn't start dating until February. So I had already committed to go to, Villanova was in Philadelphia, so I'd already committed to go to school in Philadelphia when when we decided to date. I obviously knew who Dustin was. You know, he was president of FCA. He was on the football, basketball, baseball, you name it, he did it. So I knew who he was. But just the way things have worked out, we didn't start dating until my senior year. Anyway, so I went off to college. We actually stayed dating. We never broke up all 4 years that I was at school. And because I played volleyball and he played football, we both had fall sports. And so you can only imagine we probably saw each other 4 weeks total out of the year. He also stayed at summer school because of football. So just to kind of give you guys examples, we saw each other in July between summer sessions for a couple days. Then we would see each other all in the fall. And then we saw each other when we were home for Christmas break for a couple weeks. And then he would come see me at school in Philadelphia for his spring break, and then I would go see him for my spring break. And so we did that all 4 years. And I'm telling you guys that to say that when you find something that is worth it, you know it. And that was something that obviously we dated. After I graduated got my nursing degree, I worked in Fort Worth for a year. So not only did we do 4 years of college, we added on another year because this incredible job opportunity presented itself. And Dustin is someone who has always encouraged me to go for my dreams. And that's something that has meant the world to me because it could have been something that he would have said, no, you're not taking me, you need to find a job elsewhere. So anyway, I worked for a year, and then we got married. We got engaged December of 2012. Sorry. We got married the following June, and so we've been married for about a year and a half now. And then obviously when we got married, I moved, and that was the first time we had even lived in the same city since high school. So obviously it was a lot of growth, but such an amazing thing. And so many blessings have come from just being patient and also following dreams and finding someone who encourages, he encouraged me to follow my dreams, and I'm trying really hard to continue doing the same for him. So anyway, he graduated from school in December and went and trained in Dallas this past spring, training for the combine, I guess. Got invited to the National Combine, did great there, and then he got picked up by the Cowboys, and here we are.
The reason I want to talk about that our story is because I want to let y'all know that we were sitting here. We were in these same seats. We know we just came from the middle school. The same thing. We went to the junior high and we were in high school. And we went off to college, and now we're here sitting in front of you giving back. And I think that's important to realize. And one of the reasons why we were asked to come speak was to talk about making good choices and making good decisions. And I always, laugh when I was given like a broad thing to talk about, how hard it is to come up with specific ideas to talk about. Just make good choices, don't screw it up. And that's not why we're here. What we want to do is encourage y'all to make those good choices in whatever decisions that y'all make. Because, like right now, I remember in high school thinking, I don't know how this decision is really going to make a difference for me in the future. Or, it may not be that bad of a decision right now. I'll worry about that when it comes. And so I remember thinking about that in high school, and now, where we are right now, those decisions have directly impacted where we are. And it's allowed us to come up against and confront decisions that we've had to make, especially throughout this process. It's allowed us to confront that with wisdom instead of, getting taken back and going, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. I haven't been confronted with this decision before. Instead of that, to be mature and be wise in the thing that we decide. And so that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come speak to y'all, is to encourage y'all to make good choices and good decisions. I mean, to kind of to open it up a little bit, just a few comments. What kind of decisions do y'all have to make in high school? What decisions are y'all faced with every day?
Audience participation.
Homework? Lunch? We're gonna eat? College? So, seniors right now, how important is it right now with the college that you plan on going to, and how to choose that, and does that make a huge difference? I think that's huge. So what does your future hold? Those types of decisions that are big decisions, and you're going through it right now. It's like, how do I deal with this? And I think it's important to realize that, to take a step back and to look at those decisions and go, okay, this is my goal, this is my dream, this is what I want to do with my life. What's the wisest decision that I can make in this particular situation? I think that's extremely important as far as what we're talking about right here is the friendships that you have. I had a guy in college, one of the professors, and he says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And I always thought that was so simple yet so profound, is to be able to look at the people that surround you. Do the people that surround you make you a better person, or do they make you a worse person? Are you making the people that surround you better people, or are you making them worse people? Friendships is a huge decision that you have to make. Who are you going to surround yourself with? With me and Courtney, the relationships that you have, man and a woman, what's important in that? What are you trying to get out of that? Are you making a good decision, the person that you go out with, or that you plan on end up marrying? Are you looking for the right qualities in them?
On that note, I'm just going to take a second. I'm going to get really deep with you guys, and I'm sorry, but this is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. I want to talk a second to all you girls out here. So just to tell you guys, I just said that about 17 times, so I'm really sorry. I didn't have a boyfriend at all until I met Dustin when I was 18 years old. I was 18 when I had my first kiss. That was something that was important to me. And I remember when I was 14 years old, so I was in 8th grade, I wrote in a journal. I'm a big time journaler, and I was challenged by someone who was older than me to do this. And I'm telling you guys this because this has followed me, and I want you guys to at least think about it. When I was 14, in my journal, I wrote qualities of the man I wanted to marry now. And think about yourself in 8th grade doing this. I think I was way more mature when I was in 8th grade than I am now, but that's okay. And in that, I actually left my phone away from me, so I don't have an example to look at. But I wrote down things that were important to me. One of them, trustworthy, honest, funny. I went even into, I did tall, I did handsome, I did muscular. I clearly got that. And smart. I said I wanted his goals in life to have a job that he loved, but to spend more time with his family. I wanted him to come from a close Christian family. And when I read that, and I didn't even know Dustin when I wrote that, but when I read it now, those of us who know Dustin know that all of that description is Dustin to a T. And I just want to talk to you girls. Don't ever lower your standards. You guys have so much potential, and girls are thrown with so much stuff to dress a certain way, to be a certain way, to date, to sleep around, to do all these things that there's so much pressure to do, and I get it. I was there, I'm in your shoes, and I was talking to Dustin, I am 24, and you guys are 17, 18 years old, and I'm still battling that stuff. Being in the NFL, there's an insane stereotype for a, quote, NFL life. And I'm battling that stereotype every single day because I don't want to live a certain way. I'm wearing Converse when all the other women I know wear heels and pumps, and that's not me. And so I'm really battling, and I'm daily remembering that when I was 14, I set standards for myself that I'm continuing to live by. And I made a decision when I was 14 that I was going to be a certain way. And the thing is, even if you guys have messed up, that's okay. We are not perfect at all. And the reason we are so thankful we can talk to you guys is because we want to use this to say, we messed up in the past, but here's what we've learned. And so we just want to share that with you guys. And if you can just find, forgiveness in yourself and forgiveness in your friends or whatever that would be. But girls, just set your standards high and just don't ever think that there's not someone who's going to meet every single one of your criteria, because there is. You just may have to wait and be patient with it, but it is so worth it.
Yeah, for the guys too, man. I remember in high school it was just like, I'm an athlete, I play sports, I'm a big man on campus, and that translates to the NFL, all these guys that I play with. And one of the biggest problems right now in the NFL, if you watch ESPN or anything like that, one of the biggest problems right now is domestic violence. And it's terrible. It's completely the wrong way how to treat women, how to treat the opposite sex. It's not right. And right now it's one of the biggest problems because the guys think that they're above the law and they can treat women however they treat. So I want to encourage the guys in this room to be really respectful of the women here. It's a mutual thing. So what Courtney was talking about as women, holding yourself to a high standard, and then the guys holding them to a high standard. It can make the world a better place than these things. Talking about making good choices, it can definitely positively impact your life later on in the future. And so, first thing we just want to encourage you is to really be wise and make good choices. If you've made mistakes, man, change that. Change it, because I guarantee you, those choices, you may not know now, but those choices that you make will directly impact your future. And so the second thing, and this is kind of the main thing I really want to talk about, because right now, especially for you seniors, you're thinking about going off to college, and it's a big decision, because from then on, now you got to figure out, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? What career do you want to have? What are you going to pursue? And I think that it's an important decision that you come to grips with. But this is what me and Courtney really want to encourage y'all with, is to take chances. To go out on a limb and take chances. Don't be afraid of success, and don't be afraid of failure. Because failure is really a perspective thing. It's how you look at it. I want to read y'all a comment, or actually it's a quote by Teddy Roosevelt, and I think it's one of the best quotes that's ever been said, and you'll see the reason why. You may have heard this quote before, but we go into Valley Ranch where we train, and you walk in, and it's the weirdest placement for this quote that I've ever seen. It's on the back of our stalls in the restroom. This is where this quote is. So, guys, you're literally forced to read it. Okay? And so, So I sat there and I read it.
Sorry, that's way too mine.
That's all right. They're all adults. So this quote is called "The Man in the Arena." That's what he's talking about. And let me just read it to you. Just try and think about this quote and listen to it and how it relates to you. We'll kind of talk about it, and then we'll be done. This is the quote. "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." And I love that quote because it's talking about the critic first. It's saying, and I know everybody in here has their critics. People that think either, and it doesn't have to be in sports, just in life in general, think that you need to do things differently. You're not talented enough to do this. You're not gifted enough to do this. You need to change your dream, change your goals, because you're not good enough. And you have so many critics. But the thing it's talking about, it's like, the fact of the matter is, the critics don't matter. They don't matter at all in your life. What really matters is that you put yourself in a position to be able to succeed and fail. Basically saying, what's important is that you try. And that you chase after your goals, you chase after your dreams. You don't be afraid of failure. Because like I said, failure is really a perspective thing. Honestly, you look at it, you're chasing after your dream, your goal. And you're like, man, I really, really want this. And it turns out that you fail at actually achieving that. You don't quite get there, but you tried. Aren't you happier that you put yourself in a position where you at least had the chance to succeed, rather than talking about the cold and timid souls that know nothing of what it feels like to either be a victor or be somebody that has failed? It talks all the time about Thomas Edison and how he had to fail 1,000 times to get it right. And that's so true. I don't know if 1,000 times is completely accurate. I have no idea. But honestly, how do you know if you succeeded if no one's failed at doing it? And so that's my encouragement. Courtney may have something else to say along those lines. But I want to encourage y'all more than anything. When you're thinking about college, when you're thinking about your careers, don't settle for what you think other people want you to settle for. Because honestly, I'm telling you this right now, sitting in high school, I never once thought NFL was a possibility. Not once. It actually became a possibility. We talked about it, and this is where we took this leap of faith. I went to school to get a pre-med degree. Ended up getting it, but my goal was to become a doctor. And honestly, it's probably easier at that time to know that doctor was more of a possibility than NFL. You put the percentages, and I guarantee you it is astounding the difference in the people that would succeed at medical school and the people that succeed going into the NFL. So I never once thought that was even a possibility. So my goal was, being a doctor. But then this opportunity came up, and we had to decide. I remember this conversation. We sat and we talked, and I'm like, I can't do both. There's no possible way to go after football and to go after being a doctor. I'm going to have to choose one. And the most daring choice that we've ever made is to say, forget about medical school right now. I'm going this way. And honestly, putting ourselves in that situation was probably the scariest situation for our future that I've ever encountered. And it could tell you, honestly, I had no idea how it was going to turn out. Not a clue. Not one clue that I knew we were going to end up where we are today. And still, to this day, fear about the future of your career in the NFL. Because no matter what, it's very short and it's very unstable. And, but I tell you what, we have never made a better decision than to take that chance and to go after your dream because you just want it that badly. You're going to put everything you have into it. And I guarantee you, even if it came to failure and I would have had to go back, there's not a worse feeling than the feeling of regret. And I don't want y'all to have that feeling. If you want to go off to college, go off to college. If you want to go be a doctor, a lawyer, play professional sports, anything you want to do, go out there and do it. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't. Because, first of all, the only reason they're criticizing is because they're the one that's afraid to go out there and do it. And so, I really want y'all to be encouraged to go out and to do, to be a positive influence, to go change people's lives, and to go change the society. Because I think that's the most important thing is no matter what you do, is to positively impact the people around you. I think that's our God-given purpose. Is to go out and truly make a difference in people's lives. And the only way you can do that is if you're different and it's if you put yourself on a limb to take chances without the fear of failure, without the fear of embarrassment, to go out there and do it. Because that's what you really want to do.
And on that note as well, I want you guys to also know that Dustin is the hardest worker I know. And if you want something, chase it, go after it, but also know, yes, you're going to have failures, but you have to work hard at those dreams. And in this society of entitlement and feeling like we deserve things, we don't deserve anything. But Dustin has this insane work ethic that has obviously paid off. And so also know that you have to work hard for stuff. You know, Dustin, the other day, we were sitting, or he was at work, and I was on the iPad doing something, and all of a sudden, a text came in on his iPad from Des Bryant. Like, what? That's nuts. And he gets to work with Tony Romo and Jason Witten and Des, and these incredible people. And the reason he can do that is because he spends the hours and the time and the effort. And there have been many tears for me because it's scary, but it's so worth it. And so no matter what you want to do, you guys just do it. And that's all I can say is just find something, and you guys are only young once. We're only young once. So just go with it and just put your all in and just do it. And I just want to punch everyone and just say, go for it. Tell us.
Yeah, I think it's great. Courtney's really passionate about this. Is for people to go out on a limb and do, because we've been able to see how it's positively impacted our lives. And so to leave y'all with this, and this is kind of our finishing statement, is first to encourage y'all to make wise choices, to make good choices. Those choices are going to impact your life one way or the other. And like I said, right now you feel invincible right now. You feel like there's no way it could happen to me. And I've been around teammates, I've been around guys, I've been able to develop a relationship with guys that have lost their best friend. In the car accident, this guy was driving drunk. His friend was in the passenger seat. And he drove, and they got in a wreck, lost his best friend. And I guarantee you, when they got in the car, had no idea that it was going to be that outcome. No clue. Had guys end up in jail because they made a bad decision that they had no idea, that they thought they were invincible. And I guarantee you, in the NFL, it is to the extreme, the people that think that they are above the law and they are invincible and that no one can touch them. But it happens every single day when somebody screws up their future because of one bad decision, one bad choice, and they get caught. So I want to encourage you to make good choices and to be wise throughout your entire life, going into your future. And then with those choices, I don't want you to forget that with those wise choices you can take chances. You can be different. You don't have to do what everybody thinks that you only have the talent to do, or only have the gifts to do. Because the person that knows themselves better than anybody is themselves. And so, know your gifts, know your talents, know what you want to do with your life, and go do it. And no one's stopping you. I don't care if somebody sits there and tells you, you cannot do this. I guarantee you, you will have critics. You have people that tell you that think that you should do your job better than what you're doing it. The fact is, the only reason they're criticizing is because they're not in your same position. And so go do. Don't be afraid of failure, because if you put yourself in that position, you're not going to have any regrets. And so I just want to thank you all. Me and Courtney want to thank you all for allowing us to come and talk to you all. It's been great.
You guys, do you have time for questions?
Yeah, she's got about 10 minutes, I believe.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Dustin? Autographs? Miss Math will have to decide on all that.
Question right here. How cool is Jason Whitney? Yeah. He's a very cool guy. He's a really cool story. If I have, I would encourage everybody to go and kind of Google Jason and see what his background is, where he comes from. But I tell you what, one of the most passionate guys to ever play the game of football. He's a great guy. I learned a lot from him. Huh? How cool is it to travel with the team? It's real cool. We actually just got back from London last week. We were there for the entire week. We ended up playing Jacksonville there. It was really cool. I've never had the opportunity to travel to London like I did there, so it's a really cool opportunity to travel with them.
Are you going to replace the
We aren't talking politics here.
Hey, Bob, whose locker is next to yours?
Whose locker is next? Probably.
You can tell them outside whose locker is next to you.
Well, I don't know how you feel about this, but Dez is pretty close. He's 2 lockers down from me.
No, but who's next to you?
Who's next to me? Dwayne Harris. Okay, this tells a lot about me. Dwayne Harris is the fastest guy on our team, and I am not fast at all, so it doesn't say much about me. Who else? Go for it. I love being a Dallas Cowboy, yes. Do you expect any other answer than that?
If you want to get your cell phone down, you take pictures, you can do whatever you want to do right now.
But you have to pay Miss Math $15 for it.
I still owe Miss Smith $15. Go for it. Huh? Yeah, I'll take a selfie.
Just FYI, we are going to go say hi to just a couple teachers, and then Dustin will be around for lunch if you guys do want to take pictures. Let me answer this, because Dustin's incredibly humble, and I'm really proud, so I'll actually tell you the truth.
What?
What's the question?
Oh, you said Heisman, right? That shows you how excited I get over Dustin's stuff.
It's like, no.
Sorry.
Yes, I believe so. I failed miserably. Huh? I can't still do it. It's cold now, so it's.
I'm gonna wait for you on my office.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Any other questions? What's our plans? What's our plans for the future? Well, honestly, I'm trying and be in the NFL for as long as possible, hopefully with the Dallas Cowboys. But after that, I have no clue yet. It's gonna be one of those chances you're gonna have to take. But right now, it's just trying to do everything I can to the NFL. One more?
Don't be that guy that buys like 3 houses and 5 cars.
3 houses and 5 cars.
Don't be that guy.
No, I won't be that guy. You good? All right. Thank you all very much. Really